Hi there. Today we are going to go through a stretch series. And stretching to me has not always been a part of my routine. I have been very inflexible through most part of my life, so stretching kind of always felt like I wasn't successful because I'm very inflexible. But as we go through this series of movements, just think about what you're doing, what your joints are doing, thinking about breathing, alignment, supporting the torso, the core, that you're not pushing yourself into positions that to make it look like it should. Or yeah, so you're stretching for you, not for how it should look, and just moving the joints, breathing, getting blood flow to the muscles, and all that good stuff. So we're gonna start with our arms across our chest here, like a big hug. And we're gonna do some circles here, inhaling and exhaling as you come forward. Inhale, extend, exhale. Good. Last one this direction. From there, opening up, crossing your hands the opposite way, and circling, spreading the toes wide, inhaling into that extension. Exhale, feeling that low belly drop up to the back of the ribs. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Plugging the toes in. Pausing there, opening up the hands, circling the wrists, shining the chest forward, reversing the circle. Nice soft knees. And coming into some side bending here. Inhale through center. Exhale, side bend. I'm kind of spinning the the leg internally. Maybe getting a stretch to the hip, keeping the shoulder open. Feeling the shoulder blade draw down, away from the fingers. Warming up the blood flow here. Good. Last one. And coming to the top of your mat or the back, it doesn't really matter actually. We're going to work with both legs. So I'm going to come to my top, taking an inhale, standing nice and tall through the crown of the head, plugging the heels, spreading the toes, and on your exhale, starting to nod the chin, unstacking the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae here. Finding a soft bend in the knees whenever you'd like, protecting the low back, coming down to the floor, and we're going to step the left leg back. So my right heel is grounded, and then we're going to take we're going to step both feet back, and we're in this down dog position. Pedaling out the feet here for a little stretch, maybe through the calf, through the hamstring. Taking an inhale, exhale. Now lowering the knees down to the mat. We're coming into a cat-cow here. So rounding the upper back and then extending and lifting the chest, but getting that lift of the chest through the breastbone, through the sternum bone, not necessarily just the lift of the chin. So head stays in alignment, the chin is not lifted where it's compressing the neck there. Now arcing, lifting, arcing, lifting. Last one. Arching, arching, back of the ribs, reach up towards the ceiling, lift, collarbones shine towards the mat. And now finding a neutral spine, giving a little tail wag here, and curling the toes underneath. Now we'll come into a down dog. Inhale, exhale. Lifting up high onto your toes here, dropping the heels off to one side, arcing through center, spinning, still keeping the legs pretty straight, and imagining your ears are just in between your biceps. And you can shift a little bit forward and then pressing back, shifting forward and then back in that alignment. Tail reaches long. Last one here. Squaring up through center. Bringing the right foot forward. Now we're going to ground that heel. Squaring the hips. Lifting the hands up nice and strong. Collarbones wide. So the muscles around the neck are not doing the lifting of the hands. Spinning the back foot there. Some people like to align the heel with the inner border of the foot. For me, that feels good. So try that out. If you need to adjust, adjust. Tail is heavy. Hands are reaching wide. Feeling like you're going to give your little tug of war of the wrists here. So kind of shifting back and forth. Kind of imagining this really intentional shift back and forth of the ribs here. And you can kind of almost think about, okay, this level is going to shift. This level down here is going to shift. We're just moving our ribs. From there, tipping over, keeping that front knee bent still, toes spread wide. Hip, knee, second toe alignment. Reaching that hand up towards the ceiling. And then straightening, bending over to the side, and wiggling the fingers, turning the head if you like, and then back to center, or back to the beginning position, and spinning to center. Hands reach forward first, and then reaching that right hand up and around behind you, like you're reaching for something behind you. Inhale. There. It's almost like you're wringing out the spine as you reach that hand behind you. Feeling this magnetism between the inner borders of the thighs. Good. Last one. And now we're going to bring the hand back to the back leg if you can, or you can bring it to the right hand to the right hip and just give a little bit of an arch of the back there, but still feeling this heaviness through the spine. Might feel a stretch through the front of the hip, maybe a little bit of balance too. Good. If you can, bring your hand to the back of the leg and then forward here. Down all the way to the mat if you can. If you want to have kind of books or blocks standing by, even like a table or a chair, if that's close, a couch. So I'm going to go all the way to the floor, but I can only be on the ends of my fingers. And we're going to get another little rotation through the upper body. First, the right elbow bends up. Eyes follow the elbow and then straight up, bend, back, inhale, exhale, up, straight, bend, last one, good. From there, straightening the right leg, getting a little hamstring stretch if you can. And we're going to lift up the back leg. I'm still on the ends of my fingers here, or holding on to something a little bit higher. And I'm going to side through the mat. So it's a little bit of balance, but also this kind of lengthen of the right hamstring as you bend and straighten. Good, ending in the center here, and we're gonna spin. So the inner borders of the feet are facing each other, and I'm gonna bend my right knee, bend my left, and I'm just kind of translating side to side. So transitioning side to side, almost like a typewriter, if you know what a typewriter is. If you need a little bit more height, you can bring your hands onto the shins if you don't have blocks. And if your hands are on the floor, hold them in the center there, and then lifting up the right elbow, reach back down, keeping that low belly drawn in so you're supporting the torso as you get this twist. Inhale, letting the belly fully drop down towards the floor as you inhale, and then exhale, re-engage. Inhale, last one. Exhale. Now from here, spinning to the back of your mat, bending, lowering the right leg, bringing the hands up, and we're going to bend side to side here. This also might be a little bit of a balance challenge, but thinking about the ribs staying over the hips, and as you pass through center, as you side bend, of course, the shoulders will be unstacked, but you have that nice strong foundation of the spine. Last one. And bringing the hands down, spinning back to center, walking the hands to the front, and here we're going to bring the left knee down and coming up, straightening that right leg, finding that deep hinge at the front of the hip, and then leaning forward, using your hands as much as you need as you walk forward, walk back. If you feel like your hands can stay on the hips, leaning forward, smiling that chest, and last one here. Wiggling the toes. Toes are flexed towards the knees. This also might be a balance challenge, and that's all right. Now spinning on that left leg and keeping the right leg out to the side. And we're going to side bend. Lots of side bending here, but that's good. The rotation is always a good thing. Controlled rotation. Now from here, we're going to spin back to the top of the mat, looking there, and we're actually going to adjust and moving our legs to the opposite side. So I'm in the Z-sit position. If this is too much for you, you can come forward, lift yourself up onto your knees like this, and then lean forward and up, forward and up. It just gives a little bit of movement through the hips. Good. And then if you're down on the ground here, just holding this position. And good. From there, spinning back to the top of the mat, adjusting that right foot flat, spin through center, and walking the hands to the back. From here, we're going to step back into a down dog. Pressing ourselves there, pressing ourselves up. Feeling like the ears are in between the biceps. And then stepping that foot back. Lifting up into a runner's lunge. The big toe of the foot is grounded. And now from there, opening up. Do a little bit of this rib shift. Intentional rib shift back and forth. Shoulder blades are drawn down. Side bend with the knee bent. And then side bend the other way, straightening that leg. Standing tall, lengthening. Bottom hand supports on the outside of the leg there. And then back to bend. Centering. Finding this opening of the upper body, head turns, back to center. This might be a balance challenge. Reaching through the fingers, wiggling the fingers. Tail is heavy, making sure that you're not arching your back too much. And now from there, holding there with the hand behind you, you can either have it on the hip, reaching the hand up, or you can bring the hand to the back of the leg there, looking behind if you can to get that extra rotation, and then cartwheeling the hands forward. From there, taking your blocks, finding your blocks if you need to, but opening the left elbow first, like you're elbowing the ceiling, drawing that low belly in, reaching up. Inhale, letting the belly drop towards the floor, relaxing everything, and then re-engaging, lifting the belly away from the top of the thigh, head turns. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Relaxing that low belly, re-engaging. Now from there, both hands on the ground. We're going to come into this arc through the back leg. So it's nice little bounce. Bending and straightening the standing leg. Good. Last two. And last one. Finding center. Spinning, pivoting on the heel there. Bending and straightening the leg. Keeping the chest nice and broad. Letting that belly fully expand and then re-engage. Now from there, if you need to have your hands on your shins, you can, hopefully you've already gone there. And if your hands are on your shins, you can stay there, lifting up towards the ceiling. If your hands are dangling, lifting up, elbowing first, reach. One side might feel easier or harder than the other. Good. Rotate. Perfect. Continuing to breathe. Now spinning, pivoting, bringing that left knee down. Hands out to the side. Side bending here. Side to side. Pressing through the front heel. Last two. And last one. From there, spinning, pivoting back to center, and then back to facing the left foot, bending down here, standing up tall, straightening the left leg. If this is hard on your knee at all, you can get a little extra towel or a sweatshirt or something just to give your knee a little more padding. So from here, inhaling, nice and tall, exhaling, toe draws towards your knee, leaning forward. This is about as far as I can go and stay organized without rounding my spine. Inhale, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale, leaning forward. You can also bring your hand to the top of the leg, to the shin, if you can stretch further. Inhale, exhale, last one. Perfect. And from there, spinning to the Z-sit position, shifting your legs off to the side. So if it can be in the C-sit position, give a little side-to-side bend here. If this is not a great position for you, you can come up here or sit in child's pose. Always child's pose is an answer. Good, and just bend and lift. Good, last two. And last one. With cartwheeling your hands over, finding that runner's lunge again. Spinning to center, bringing the hands to the front of the shins. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to round and dive forward, using the hands as a support. Inhale, sliding up. And exhale, rounding. From there, bending the knees back and forth. And we're going to heel toe our feet inward. If you can't touch the floor, that's okay. You can bring your hands to your shins or use your blocks. Heel toe the feet outward. And then back in. From there, rounding the spine, lifting the chest to find those two extremes. And now from there, we're going to roll up, taking an inhale, exhale, stacking as we go, lifting up towards the ceiling, wiggling our fingers up onto our tippy toes, growing as tall as we can, and a big breath out. Good job. Nice job stretching. I don't know if that's something that you feel comfortable doing regularly, but yeah, nice job. And if you found any of these things to feel really good or kind of necessary, you don't have to do this whole thing. You can pick and choose, finding the positions, finding the movements, finding your breath, connecting the breath to movement, and taking them into your everyday. So thanks for stretching with me, and have an awesome day.